Hello and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be ranking all the eyeshadow palettes that I tried in the month of June. I've been doing this video for quite a few months and I kind of have varying numbers of eyeshadow palettes. So if I tried 10 palettes that month, I will rank them. If I tried 3 palettes that month, I will do a ranking video. And today we have 5 eyeshadow palettes. I just want to preface this with that none of these palettes are bad palettes. It's really going to come down to formulation, performance, and color story, which honestly color story plays a huge part, unless of course the quality isn't there, but the quality is there for all of these palettes. I just have to rank them. So here we go. In 5th place, this really pains my heart. This is actually my 2nd palette I've ever tried from Beauty, and that is the Freedom Black Magic palette. And this one I have a dedicated video. I do have dedicated videos on all of these palettes, I do believe, so I'm going to be linking those down in the description box in case you missed them or you want more detail on my thoughts on these palettes. So the reason I bought this palette was really for the shimmers, because the shimmers, I mean, look at them. They look so shiny, and they are so beautiful. I said in the video, I don't know what shimmer formula to even compare this to. Maybe Pat McGrath. Like, they're so beautiful. Literally metal in an eyeshadow pan. The thing is, I don't like the formula of the mattes in here. There's something about them, they're so like silky smooth and almost a little bit thin that I feel like the blending just isn't really there for me. I feel like it takes a little bit more effort to get these to work. I did also use it off camera with a different eyeshadow primer, had a little bit better time with it, but unfortunately I will be reaching really for the shimmers in this palette, not the mattes. And it's not that I think that it's a bad formula or poor quality or anything like that. It's just not my preferred type of matte formula. So in 4th place, we have the Leather and Lace palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. I was so excited about this palette because I really just love the way this is laid out. It's kind of like neutrals, but make it fun. You have 3 shimmers that kind of correspond with each of the rows. The reason this palette is in 4th place is because when I did use it off camera after my video, and even just in the video, I did notice that some of these like kind of center shades, in between shades, feel different enough from these. So I feel like these 2 tones are so similar that like I was really excited to get a lot of depth out of this palette. But when I started blending these 2 shades, they kind of just ended up looking kind of the same with these and these. Like, I really feel like these should be even lighter actually, to have even bigger contrast in between them, to really give you that depth, because I couldn't really get much contrast with this palette. The shimmers are really beautiful. They are a little bit on the kind of like prone to hard panning side, specifically like these 2 shades from swatching. I can see just like a little bit of hard panning forming. They're not as bad as the Witching Hour shimmers, which those were just really hard to pick up and use. And I do really love the shade up here. I actually use it as highlighter multiple times now because it looks so beautiful as highlighter. Otherwise, I really love the formula. I love the Unearthly Cosmetics matte eyeshadows. There are a couple of palettes here and there that I've had that seem like a little bit inconsistent in the formulation of the mattes, but these are definitely the good matte. In 3rd place is the Saints, Angels, and Sinners collaboration palette with Smink, aka Natalie. If you're not following her, you absolutely have to, because she creates some of the most beautiful looks, and this is what the color story looks like. I just felt like this color story was very unique, and I love the ratio of the shimmers and the mattes. I really love the way that my looks came out. I think that it was really easy to use this palette. The mattes blended nicely, and the shimmers are really beautiful and shiny. There's a couple of different kind of variations of textures of shimmers in here, and this one is unfortunately leaking. I think you can kind of see, but I don't really mind. It's really just an aesthetics thing, but I did really enjoy this palette, and I'm just really happy for Natalie for having this opportunity. Like I said, definitely give her a follow on Instagram. In 2nd place, okay, the 1st and 2nd place are just really neck to neck. Ask me another day, ask me tomorrow, and I would probably switch them. So this is kind of just like in the moment kind of ranking. So in 2nd place is the Don't Be Jelly palette from Unearthly Cosmetics, and this is basically a beautiful all shimmer non-pan eyeshadow palette. You got lots of different special eyeshadows, some multi-chromes, dual-chromes, some more topper-like shades, some darker shades, just really everything. This palette is a little bit on the expensive side, but I did talk about in my video on this palette about how it really breaks down to about $4 per shadow, which is really not bad. There are 2 squishy shadows in here though that are quite squishy, so I'm going to have to be really careful with those because they will most likely crease on me, unfortunately. But the rest of these are just really beautiful. Definitely check out the swatches. I believe I did swatch comparisons in that video as well. I thought this palette was worth it, especially if you don't have a lot of special shadows, or if you don't really want to buy single eyeshadows and multi-chromes, then this is a great option. But if you have a lot of single eyeshadows, a lot of all shimmer eyeshadow palettes, then you might not necessarily need to pick this one up. Definitely like save your money on that, but I do feel like it is worth the $72. So in first place is the Sugar Dreams palette from Sugar Drizzle. This is such a fun little like summery release, little beautiful Nad Pan eyeshadow palette with just some stunning pastel types of shadows. There's some shimmers as well as duochrome shades. None of these shadows are squishy, so I don't have to worry about creasing with this palette. And this is just such a fun little palette to pair with colorful eyeshadows, pastel eyeshadows, bright neon eyeshadows, really just anything. You can just layer these endlessly, or you can just go for an easy one and done type of look as well. So that is my #1 palette for the month of June. Now let me know in the comments below if any of these surprised you. What is your favorite eyeshadow palette or just makeup product that you've used in June? Doesn't have to be new, just anything that you've been using and reaching for a lot. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you're interested in some more ranking videos of eyeshadow palettes that I've tried in the past months so far in 2022, then you can check out one of these videos. There's usually lots of indie brand palettes. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.